Most men in the US have completely the wrong idea about what makes a woman genuinely attracted to a man. They think it's all about having the right look, the right money, or knowing the perfect lines to say. The truth is, none of that matters nearly as much as the mindset you bring into every interaction. Confidence, emotional control, and clarity in your purpose are far more powerful than any surface-level charm. What separates men who succeed in attraction from those who fail isn't their appearance. It's how they think, how they respond, and how they carry themselves under pressure. And this isn't some vague concept. It's grounded in Stoic principles that have guided men for centuries. There are 9 specific mindset shifts that, when applied consistently, make a man naturally magnetic without forcing it. Missing even one of them puts you at a disadvantage, and most men don't even realize it. Understanding this could completely change the way you approach dating, relationships, and self-mastery. Think about how many guys spend their entire dating life chasing validation. They overanalyze every text, every glance, and every small gesture, constantly wondering if she's interested or if they said the wrong thing. Then, the moment she pulls back even slightly, they panic. Their confidence crumbles, their behavior becomes desperate, and suddenly all the attraction they might have built disappears. This isn't just about insecurity, it's about giving away your power every time you react instead of respond. These patterns destroy attraction faster than anything else because they reveal a man who doesn't have control over his own mind or emotions. In today's US dating culture, this problem is amplified. The world moves fast. Women are bombarded with options, attention spans are short, and everyone is emotionally overstimulated. In this environment, a man who loses his cool, overreacts, or chases too hard immediately sticks out, but not in a good way. Women can sense emotional instability instinctively. It doesn't matter how attractive you are physically or how impressive your lifestyle seems on paper. If you can't manage yourself internally, attraction dies before it even begins. The real issue? Most men are completely reactive. They let every little emotion dictate their next move. They text too soon, overanalyze signals, or overcompensate to avoid rejection. Very few operate intentionally. They don't pause to ask, what is truly in my control? Or, how can I respond with calm and purpose? Instead, they let feelings of fear, anxiety, and neediness drive their behavior. The men who master attraction are the ones who act from principles, not impulses. They understand themselves first, and the rest, interest, respect, connection, naturally follows. Here are the 9 Stoic mindset shifts women actually respond to, whether they admit it or not. These aren't theories. They're patterns of behavior that show up in real life, every single day. Apply them consistently, and you'll see a shift not just in how women respond to you, but in how you carry yourself in every interaction. 1. Control what you can, release what you can't. Marcus Aurelius spent his life writing about this principle, and it's just as relevant today as it was 2,000 years ago. Women, whether consciously or not, are drawn to men who don't crumble when life throws a curveball. You don't have to control the world, the outcome of every interaction, or her feelings, but you do need to control yourself. This means staying calm when she cancels plans, when she doesn't text back immediately, or when life throws stress your way. Your calm, measured presence is magnetic because it communicates stability, reliability, and strength. You're the anchor, not the leaf being tossed around. 2. Don't chase, invite. Epictetus said it best. The harder you pursue something out of desperation, the further it slips away. Most men chase attention, validation, and affection like they're racing for a prize, but desperation kills attraction. Instead, operate from a space of invitation, not compulsion. Let your presence, energy, and confidence speak for themselves. If she's interested, she will respond to your grounded energy. If she isn't, that's okay, you haven't sacrificed your self-respect chasing something that doesn't fit. 3. Emotional neutrality, emotional reactivity. You don't need to be cold or detached. That's not attractive either. What is attractive is emotional control. The moment she says or does something unexpected, your response shouldn't be panic, frustration, or overthinking. Pause, breathe, think, respond intentionally rather than reacting. This simple habit instantly separates you from 90% of men, because most guys wear their emotions on their sleeves and act impulsively. Women can sense it, it's drawn to stability, not drama. 4. Silent confidence is louder than words. Confidence isn't about saying the right things or performing like you're on stage. True confidence is grounded, quiet, and internal. It shows up in the way you walk, how you hold eye contact, and how comfortable you are in your own skin. You don't need to impress her with stories or accomplishments. Let your composure and energy speak louder than any words. This is why silent confidence is more attractive than flashy attempts to show off. 5. Non-attachment to outcomes. Needing her approval or validation immediately erodes your power. A Stoic man understands that his value isn't tied to her response. The man who can calmly walk away, who isn't desperate for her attention, is the one women respect the most. Detachment doesn't mean disinterest. It means you have enough control over your own emotions that her behavior doesn't dictate your state of mind. 6. Purpose first, attraction second. A man without purpose is easy to lose interest in. Women aren't looking to be the center of your universe. They're drawn to a man who has a life, goals, and priorities beyond dating. This is about building meaningful structure in your life. Work, health, skill building, hobbies. When you operate from purpose first, attraction naturally follows because women sense a man who is already full, rather than empty and looking to be filled by her attention. 7. Observation over assumption. Most men assume what a woman is thinking based on a glance, a text, or a small interaction, and that's how they get themselves into trouble. Stoics observe patterns, notice behavior, and respond to facts rather than imagined intentions. Instead of panicking over small signals, watch, analyze, and adjust. Observation over assumption lets you stay grounded and prevents unnecessary drama that destroys attraction. 8. Your standards matter just as much as hers. You're not auditioning for her life. Too many men act like they need to prove themselves constantly. A Stoic man knows his worth and communicates his standards naturally. She should qualify for your life, not the other way around. This doesn't mean arrogance. It means clarity and self-respect. Women respond to men who aren't willing to settle, who have boundaries and expectations that align with their values. 9. Self-control is the ultimate signal of strength. Every impulse you resist, whether it's texting too soon, reacting emotionally, or over-investing before it's reciprocated, signals strength. Self-control isn't about hiding who you are. It's about mastering yourself. Women instinctively recognize this masculine discipline, even if they don't consciously articulate it. When you control your impulses consistently, you create attraction through predictable, dependable strength, the kind that feels safe yet powerful. Which of these 9 shifts do you struggle with the most? Drop it in the comments. No judgment, just honesty. When you combine these 9 shifts and practice them daily, it's not about tricks or manipulation. It's about becoming a man who naturally attracts respect, interest, and connection because of how he manages himself, not because of what he says or does superficially. Women may not articulate it, but they respond to the energy, the presence, and the mastery that these 9 shifts create. Shifts today in a way that actually changes your behavior and presence, not just your thinking. These are simple, concrete practices, but they require discipline. Done consistently, they reshape how you react, how you carry yourself, and ultimately how women respond to you. The 24-hour rule. Most men react immediately to anything that triggers them. Her texts, a cancellation, a small sign of disinterest. That instant reaction is usually emotional, reactive, and messy. The 24-hour rule flips this. When something bothers you, instead of reacting, pause. Give yourself time to reflect. Why did this trigger me? What's actually in my control here? Wait before you respond. Send a text, speak, or act only after that pause. This does 2 things. First, it prevents you from saying or doing something that will damage attraction. Second, it signals emotional control and stability. Women feel this energy immediately. You're no longer a man being tossed around by impulses. You're grounded, deliberate, and intentional. Even small interactions, like taking your time to respond to a message, reinforce this calm, measured presence. The Daily Stoic Journal. A 1-minute morning and evening journaling routine can transform how you approach life and relationships. Morning, 1 minute ask, what's in my control today? Focus on your actions, your mindset, your reactions. Don't waste energy on things outside your influence, like her feelings, the weather, or random circumstances. This builds mental clarity and keeps you centered before the day even begins. Evening, 1 minute reflect. What did I overreact to today? Notice where emotions took over. Where did you let insecurity, fear, or impatience drive behavior? Simply observing these patterns rewires your brain, making it easier to respond calmly in the future. Over time, this journaling habit creates emotional resilience and presence, two of the most attractive traits a man can have. The detachment habit. Anxiety, neediness, and overinvestment are attraction killers. The detachment habit is a mental check that reclaims your power. When you feel anxious or overly focused on a woman's response, pause and ask yourself, if this disappeared tomorrow, would I still be okay? This is not about being cold or indifferent. It's about resetting your internal state so your emotions aren't dictated by external circumstances. When you detach in this way, you stop chasing validation and start acting from principle and self-respect. Women sense this instantly. Your calm independence is magnetic. The purpose anchor. Purpose is irresistible. A man without direction is easy to overlook. A man with purpose radiates energy, confidence, and competence. Spend at least 30 minutes every day on something that builds you. Skill development, fitness, learning, work, or personal projects. This is about creating momentum in your life that is internal, not dependent on her interest or approval. When you live a purpose-driven life, attraction follows naturally because women sense the energy of a man who is grounded and fulfilled. Your life becomes bigger than the pursuit of attention, and that makes your presence genuinely magnetic. Why this works? When you integrate these habits, the 24-hour rule, journaling, detachment, and purpose, you aren't just superficially acting confident. You become confident from the inside out. Women notice this. They aren't just attracted, they respect you. They trust you. They feel drawn to your emotional steadiness, your calm presence, and the sense that you operate from principles rather than impulses. This isn't about manipulation. It's about self-mastery. Every interaction becomes easier because your mindset is aligned with your actions. You stop reacting out of fear, desire, or insecurity. You start leading yourself, and that naturally leads to better outcomes in relationships, career, and life. Transformation starts with one choice. Your transformation begins with a single decision. Stop reacting. Start leading yourself. Every text, every conversation, every interaction is a chance to practice these shifts. The more consistently you apply them, the faster you'll see results. Not just in how women respond, but in your overall emotional control, clarity, and confidence. Pause for a second. Are you reacting, or are you observing? That answer reveals everything about your mindset, and it's the difference between being controlled by circumstances and controlling your life. Drop your answer in the comments. If you want more insights on Stoic psychology, emotional mastery, and attraction, subscribe and join thousands building disciplined minds every day. Comment below. Which Stoic shift are you going to apply first? This is where change starts, with awareness, deliberate practice, and consistent self-mastery. Start today, and the results will follow.